that they did, and they didn't really.
Yeah, it was more of a global response because a lot of other countries like Vietnam, Indonesia, done put some crazy tariffs on China too. But they're little players in comparison to the EU placing tariffs on China's steel and aluminum, and the United States, of course, going crazy with their own 55% tariff on China's steel and aluminum. So this is their way of trying to, I don't know, trying to maybe get us to walk that back or something, or trying to find a way to hurt us as well. But to be quite honest, I'm not sure who came up with the strategy in China, but they need to be fired because I am not sure their companies can take that. And then, God forbid, the 100% tariff comes down on China. It's over. I mean, y'all limited y'all profits, and then now you're getting 100% tariff. Yes, it's going to be over for them. I mean, and you've seen what the 145% tariff did to their economy. I mean, almost all of their manufacturing was shutting down, and their ports were stacking up. And in China don't make no money if they ain't selling.
Aim it at us. They aimed it at the whole world.
The whole world when they going broke
is subject to it. So I thought it was very, very bad.
Well, that's an understatement. But before what was supposed to be a pivotal meeting.
Shout out to Hellbat. He said, sounds like a time for 600% tariffs to me. I'm like, woo. Man, time for 600% tariffs now, Hellbat? Jesus, man. And that is decoupling right there. And honestly, I mean, 100% is also decoupling from them as well. So, like I said, she's playing a very risky game, and they're also hurting their own. But we'll get into that.
Between Trump and Xi in Korea, the Chinese tried to use the art of the deal, but they must have gotten a bad translation of the book because they underestimated and insulted Donald Trump. And they misread the situation on the ground here by thinking Trump was desperate to do a deal. The Wall Street Journal noted that China is trying to strengthen its leverage over Trump because they see him as eager to strike a deal. But the new fees on American vessels at the ports China controls would cost American companies close to $3.2 billion. China did call the move reciprocal today, but that's baloney. The reason that America had put its own fees on Chinese vessels is because of their obscene dominance in the industry. And remember, this was China's plan all along. Domination in every major industry.
Yep, domination in rare earth minerals. And that's what we're trying to do. We're trying to wane off China by doing our own mining. Drill, baby, drill. Trying to get other countries to go ahead and work rare earth mineral deals with them, because you can't really just try China because they act in duplicitous ways when it comes to trade. That's just what they do. China's economy cannot survive with fair trade. Like, yeah, they cannot survive playing fairly. And that's what China's proven for decades at this point.
Not just in Asia, but worldwide. So giving China normal trade relations status was an idiotic, greedy move. And remember, never forget this, our bipartisan establishment allowed it to happen.
This agreement exchanges membership rights for China in the WTO for economic opportunities for America in China, for American businesses and American workers.
And all that did was, and that didn't help American workers at all. Actually, that took jobs from American workers, Bill Clinton. So, yeah, that was the problem. That's one of the major mistakes, too, is the fact that we kept resuming the same type of trade with China, even though they was gutting our workforce. But, hey, it is what it is. We got cheap products, right? You know, hundreds of thousands of Americans are losing jobs, but, hey, we got cheap products.
Economically, the case is clear and compelling.
Yeah, and he said it would somehow benefit our.
And shout out Hellbat. He says, damn straight, F China, let them dig his own. Yeah, no, FG. He said, no, FG, let him dig his own grave. And honestly, G's been making all types of stupid mistakes. Like, I remember when he had to backtrack on 125% tariff on U.S. imports, and then they have to backtrack that because, well, they need U.S. imports to maintain their manufacturing base. Like, they literally buy from us just to support their manufacturing. So that was dumb, and he had to lift that immediately. So I don't see why he most likely is going to go ahead and like take the limitation off, because, like I said, they're limiting their own profits, and one of their main things is rare earth minerals. So I'm not sure why he thinks it's a good idea, but we'll see. Actually, Like I said, he's betting on limiting the supply of certain products due to the limiting imports of rare earth minerals. He's betting on a limiting of supply, and of course, that's going to raise prices.
National security as well.
If you want to reduce tensions along the Taiwan Strait, if you want a more stable Asia, if you want to maximize the chances of avoiding proliferation of dangerous weapons and a new arms race, a yes is the right vote.
Oh my God, it is so.
Hey, nah, shout out Garcia's. He says, homie, that stole Sally Jesse's Raphael glasses, man, was about 10 out of 10 lies to gaslight tonight. He's so cucked to the ideology that are self-defeating. Yeah, he is so cucked to the ideology that are self-defeating. It doesn't even make sense. But like I said, it's not even about making sense. It's about playing into a delusion. And that's really what MSNBC is all about, is playing into the delusion of TDS because it makes money. I mean, it does. Playing into TDS does make money. I mean, look at guys like, what was it? David, what's the name? Hoffman or something? I'm trying to remember that last name. Or guys like Brian Tyler. Like, bro, these guys will easily get a lot of views just off hating Trump. That's it. I mean, there is money in hating Trump. Honestly, that's why a lot of these guys was losing money when Trump was out of office. Because, I mean, bro, there's just so much money in hating Trump. It is what it is.
Stupid. How did that all work out? In 1990,
Dude, bro, there's sponsor deals. There's sponsorship deals in hating Trump.
before we allowed China into the WTO, China controlled only about 5% of the world's shipping. But as of 2023, it controlled 50%. Along with 95% of shipping container production worldwide. It also owns nearly 20% of all commercial ships and operates 7 of the world's 10 busiest ports. More madness. Gets worse. Chinese companies own partial stakes through joint ventures in several of our major U.S. ports. Most Americans don't even know this. This is insane. Just as it was to abandon our potential, the United States potential in rare earths and our dominance in other key industries and technologies. So after China's hostile moves, President Trump fired back on Truth Social that he had always felt that they've been lying in wait. And now, as usual, he said he's been proven right. There is no way that China should be allowed to hold the world captive, but that seems to have been their plan for quite some time, starting with the magnets and other elements that have been quietly amassed into somewhat of a monopoly position, a rather sinister and hostile move, to say the least. Well, it's extremely sinister.
Yeah,
and
I mean, because they're playing on the fact that Americans are scared about rising prices and all that good stuff, and that's what they believe. But here's the thing. I mean, like I said, them limiting their rare earth minerals, and depending on what we need those rare earth minerals for, we're going to be able to make less of those. And if we're able to make less of those and there's a scarcity on that product now, like I said, what does that do? Raises prices. I mean, increase in supply brings down prices. Decrease in supply bring up prices, of course, depending on product. But that is what G's trying to accomplish here with this limiting of their rare earth minerals.
Men in China are starting to disappear, we're learning. A very disturbing piece this week in The Economist documented the abuses.
And shout out to my man Jet. He says Trump should send China a golden shovel to dig it. I mean, bro, literally look, bro, just go ahead and dig your own grave since y'all just want to do this. I mean, y'all want to limit your own profits, which is going to hurt you guys at the exports. It's going to hurt you guys right at the port yard. And this is what y'all want to do? On the risk, on the bet that you can drive up American prices. This is what y'all want to do. And that's why Trump acted fast. And he's like, look, before that even happens, by November 1st, you will be paying 100%. And that's only going to hurt their business even more. Because not only are they taking in less prices, they'll be seeing less orders. And for their textile companies and clothing companies, they cannot take that. It's going to destroy them because there are other options. That's what's going to hurt China. For the businesses that we have other options for to go to other countries, those businesses will go under overnight. Sure, their tech is going to be good, but everything but that may be destroyed, and they just can't run a country just off tech.
And it's not shocking when you read this piece that the suicide rate among business people there is rising.
Yeah.
So why?
I mean, bruh, there was like a $400 trillion crisis that just went missing out of one of their banks. And bro, business dudes was committing suicide all over the place. I mean, there's been pressure to try to get businessmen to pay their employees who honestly haven't been paid in like 3 goddamn months.
You what?
Yes, 3 months. So there's a lot of this going down in China that's not even talked about. Actually, I was talking about China all through the trade war and all the atrocities that's going down in there, the extreme wealth disparity that's going on in China right now, the fact that hundreds of factories and closed down, not just because of the housing bubble that popped in 2022, but also because of the tariffs that was, I mean, honestly, decimating their sales. So yeah, what she's doing, I mean, it's a huge miscalculation.
Why should we do business with this government? They'd do that to our businessmen too, by the way, if they could. They'd do it to all of us. Our only hope of turning this around is with President Trump.
All right. And shout out to Seth. She says, gonna send you a vid. It's only so many seconds long. Please, of course, Seth. I got you. I got you, Seth. No problem.
Trying to dig America out of a massive trade deficit by reindustrializing the United States, by reshoring American manufacturing, and restoring jobs lost to offshoring. Now, he knows that we need to remove the Damocles sword that China has hanging over our heads with rare earths and with magnets. And if we don't, he knows that it's only a matter of time before our government and our people have to take orders from Beijing, or else. Xi clearly believes he has a superior leverage here because of China's rare earths and magnets, and that we're too weak, that we're too stupid, and I guess the country's too addled to come up with our own solutions.
Yep.
Xi thinks,
like I said, I mean, they highly underestimate us. So they're about to
see, as you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
They're about to find out about American ingenuity. I'm telling you, like a lot of people doubt us as Americans and us finding our way around things, but you're about to find out we're the strongest country in the world and one of the most innovating countries in the world as well. You're about to F around and find out.
Trump's bluffing on all this, that he's not negotiating because he thinks the entire populist movement is a joke. But Xi is badly mistaken here, and he underestimates MAGA. Unlike Bush or Clinton or Obama or Biden, Donald Trump has the guts and the understanding to stand up to the CCP. Even with Xi acting, like King George, sitting over the Hessians, threatening us by cutting off our supplies and critical materials. So over the next few weeks, we're going to hear a lot of people panicking, and they're going to be urging Trump to cave to Xi and just get along.
Yep.
This would be a mistake.
Yeah, I mean, bro, yeah, that's what's gonna happen. Like, well, they're limiting the exports and all this. They're limiting the imports of earth minerals. Trump, you gotta pass. Trump is gonna let the prices skyrocket. These are the items that's gonna go up because Trump refuses to bend the knee to China. Oh, praise our overlord Xi. It's like it's gonna be that on CNN News for about a week. Okay, so prepare yourself.
We can develop our own rare earths, and we can be more creative on our own supply chains, and we can force Xi to stand down. Xi's lobbyists in Washington, they don't deserve their fat paychecks this month. President Trump and his team didn't build the MAGA movement over 10 years just to turn over our freedom and our sovereignty to a dictator in Beijing. President Trump has given Xi every chance to come to the table to find ways to work together, and that's not weakness. He's doing it from a position of strength, which is getting better by the day. So President Xi should have helped Trump on fentanyl. He should have helped with Ukraine. He should have helped establish a more balanced trading system. But
and here's the thing, though. There's people who will literally shake pom-poms, cheerlead for China. I never understood that. I just never understood it. It's like, oh, well, Trump has no leverage. No, we do have leverage. The problem is, though, that China likes to hide what's going on in China. You literally have to do some deep level research. And a lot of you Dems are surface level researchers. So I doubt that you really know what's going on inside of China. Like y'all honestly, you have more faith in China than you have in America. And for that, y'all need to go ahead and take a flight to China and really see what's going on there. Because they like to show you what's going on in the city, right? In the inner cities, but they don't want to show you what's going on in those rural areas. In America, we're up front. We show you what's going on in the inner cities and rural areas. And guess what? Their inner city reflects what's going on in our inner city. It's not bad. It looks nice. It got nice buildings, but the rural areas are atrocious. The rural areas are completely like decimated, destroyed by straight poverty. So poverty. So yeah, a lot of people don't know what's really going on in China, and they don't even see how, I would be real with you, 80% of the people live in. They see how 20% live and think that's China. Sorry, guys, but it's not.
Xi is more concerned with celebrating himself and humiliating the United States. My friends, China is irredeemably hostile to us. And it doesn't matter how many Chinese students we educate here or how many nice...
I ain't gonna lie, though. I ain't gonna cap. They had a really kick-ass parade. I'm not even gonna lie. Their parade, it exuded discipline, it exuded order, and it exuded intimidation. I mean, like, come on, bro. They was all in unison. Nobody's fat in there. No fat faces, nothing. Everybody's just walking in sync, in cadence. It was impressive. And they had a robot dog. Like, where's our robot dogs? Okay, I'm done.
Comments we say about the Chinese engineers, how many cheap Chinese TVs we buy, they hold us in utter contempt. So until they experience what it's like when our market is closed and their factories are shut down one by one, they're not going to be ready to start adopting true market reforms, and they're not going to really work with us.
That's the problem. It's like China is what the problem that we've came to with China. And this is what I've said since the beginning. Even with the first trade deal, I said, look, we're going to win. We're going to get China to back down, but I don't know if we can ever expect China to act fairly. Like, actually, I don't think China can make money unless they act unfairly. They've built their entire economic model around unfair trade. If that unfair trade turns to fair trade, their entire economic system collapses on itself. So there's just no way we're going to get China with this leadership involved to get them to come down to a fair trade agreement. They're always going to try to do something duplicitous because that's the only way they can operate to keep their economy afloat. Like that, it's like they're cooked. It's over for them. It's like we got to let them crash and burn at a certain point. Or we put in somebody that's going to like really do some real capitalism, because not going on there in China. Because like, look, when I would say about what, over 5 to 800,000 million people in China, what was it, like 5 to 800 million people in China has never flown on a plane? Like, can you imagine that being like a reality? Like almost over 50% of the people in America is never just went on a plane or got a car or never even got a cup of coffee. We're talking about like 50% of Chinese people can't afford a cup of coffee. Can you imagine that here?
They'll work against us, though. So good for President Trump for announcing 100% tariffs today in response to Xi's stupid move. Pull up a chair, grab the popcorn.
He said China vagina. He said grab him by the, well, man, okay, Vlad. I like how you came in with that one. That was smooth. I got to give you that smooth sound for that. You got Riz for that one. But all right, guys, let's get right back to it.
Don't worry. The next few weeks are going to be very interesting to watch.
Sure
and you're
is.
going to be watching Trump school Xi and protect America as no other.
Yeah, because it's just a bad plan that anybody can see through, that we all know what he's doing. Like, we all know what you're doing, bro. Like, you're not slick. But hopefully that works out for you.
Watch out! Are you kidding me? Oh, that's...
Oh, here we go. Shout out to Seth for sending in the video.
Incoming geese! Watch out! Are you kidding me? Oh, that's nasty! They're right over us! Keep chanting! Don't let up! They just dumped on my jacket! Gross, they're moving off to the west! Good riddance!
I'm weak. So the anarchist sitting out there getting pooped on by birds. If only. But all right, guys, let's go ahead to the reaction of Trump's new tariffs on ABC. Let's see what they got to say about it.
And President Trump announcing that the White House will impose a 100% tariff on Chinese imports, and it will go into effect it will go into effect on November 1st. Trump claiming the Chinese forced his hand, saying that these new tariffs come in response to China's aggressive position on trade. So for more on this, I want to bring in ABC's Christian Cordero. And Christian, what more do we know about these tariffs?
Well, the trade war between the U.S. and China, Alex, of course, has been going on for many months now. It was one of the focal points of the administration when it came to changing the tariff policies, the trade policies in the U.S. But most recently, just yesterday, China announced new restrictions on rare earth minerals, and that really kind of set the ball in motion as to what has happened in the past day or so. We saw President Trump criticize that, threaten tariffs, and immediately saw stocks act accordingly, which we'll get to in a minute. But really, when it it comes to the announcement itself imposed on allegedly November 1st, as far as the president has announced today, he says that it is in response to China's extraordinarily aggressive position on trade related to export controls, and said that China sent letters to around the world threatening to impose export controls on each and every element of production having to do with rare earths. Rare earth minerals are used for things like semiconductors, computer-related resources. And he also, interestingly enough, said that there's no way China should be allowed to hold the world, quote unquote, captive, which critics note that is essentially what President Trump has been doing with a lot of the upheaval around trade policy here. So much should be.
He's doing it to all countries. He's literally trying to raise prices in all countries around the world. And I'm just going like, bro, why? Like, bro, you're damn near, look, the same thing China judged Trump for doing with the blanket tariffs, they're doing themselves. It's actually quite funny. It's like the same thing that they judged Trump with doing. We're trying to punish the entire world. Yeah, well, which he is. I'm gonna be real with you with the tariffs. And let's be real, the world deserves it. But with China, the world's been nothing but good to China. I don't even know why China acting like this. But yeah, they're trying to pretty much limit supply and raise prices, not just in America, but in other countries as well. So if they don't think that's going to get other countries to turn against them, I don't know what they think, because I'm gonna be real with you, that's a tough hit. That's a hard hit. A lot of people do get their rare earth minerals from China. And if they're limiting the supply of that, therefore that's going to be limited production of certain items, then that's going to raise the price of those items. If we're talking about semiconductors and electronics, those are some crucial items that's going to have a raise in price around the world.
Seen, Alex, as far as.
Oh, and shout out to my man Jay. He says Trump using the bird power. Yeah, he said Trump using the bird power part of the Air Force. Hey, I mean, it is what it is. Hell yeah, and shout out to the supporters, man. Appreciate you guys. So I'm going to give y'all a shout out.
You know, what happens next, but the truce that we have had with China is set to expire in less than a month. The two leaders were set to talk in a couple of weeks in South Korea, and that seems to be in limbo right now.
Oh, yeah, not anymore. Not after that one. After you pull that, I mean, what do you think was going to happen? But let's hear what Fox got to say.
Thanks for being with us here on Live Now from Fox. I'm your host, Christina Evans. We do have some breaking news that I want to bring to you just coming out in the last few minutes or so. I'm going to put this up on your screen. This is courtesy of Fox's Jackie Heinrich saying, breaking, Trump imposes 100% tariff on China, in addition to existing tariffs, responding to China's escalation of export restrictions on rare earths. POTUS says it takes effect 11/1, which is November 1st, or quote, maybe sooner. I want to put up this as well on your screen there because the president did speak about this on his Truth Social post.
Let's be real. China is kind of punishing the world right now because, well, the world's been turning on China. I mean, like I said, what Vietnam did by not letting China transport their products there no more. Indonesia said no. Mexico said no. So China no longer can relabel their products in different ports and then send them into America tariff-free. They've lost that ability. Their steel and aluminum is slowly being pushed out of economies like EU and the United States. I mean, EU, they got the 25% on steel, China steel and aluminum. And the US, of course, we got the 55%. I mean, the only people that are really playing all the way nice with China is Australia. And I mean, that's it. I mean, no, literally, those are the only people that's playing nice.
Well here, but the White House.
But I mean, come on now, it's the Aussies. I mean, who don't they play nice with?
Also put this up saying that a piece of that saying it is, quote, impossible to believe that China would have taken such an action, but they have, and the rest is history. Let's read out this full statement, though, so you're able to understand what the president has just released in the last few minutes. He says, it has just been learned that China has taken an extraordinarily aggressive position on trade and sending.
He said Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba, and what was it? I think it was what was it? The BC. I'm trying to remember what that stood for, man. In Canada. Why did I forget? What was it? Something about Columbia? Something about that, British something. But needs to be independent and either from a trade bloc with the U.S. or become the 4 new states in the United States. Because, yeah, honestly, China's only abusing those guys through their socialist policies and trying to put all their strength on the back and trying to put all their economic troubles on the back of their highest earning areas. So, it is atrocious what they're trying to pull off there. And I mean, that's why Carney is going to have to come down and have to make some concessions. I'm not sure what concessions will be made, but it does sound like they are going to have to give us some of their manufacturing. It is what it is, because let's be honest, we could steal all of their jobs just by increasing tariffs. And I mean, like I said, a lot of their companies mainly make most of their products, not most of their products, but make most of their profits in America. Just like that one TFI International that's in China. Yeah, they were going to come to America, but you know, they got shamed out of it. And all they could say was that, well, you got to understand, like most of our profits are made in the US. So as much as we would like to stay here and make that same profit, Trump is saying that just won't happen.
An extremely hostile letter to the world stating that they were going to, effective November 1st, 2025, impose large-scale export controls on virtually every product they make, and some not even made by them. This affects all countries without exception and was obviously a plan devised by them years ago. It is an absolutely unheard of in international trade and a moral disgrace in dealing with other nations, based on the fact that China has taken this unprecedented position and speaking only for the USA and not other nations who were similarly threatened starting November 1st, 2025, or sooner, depending on any further actions or changes taken by China, the United States of America will impose a tariff of 100% on China over and above any tariff that they are currently paying. Also on November 1st, we will impose export controls on any and all critical software. It is impossible to believe that China would have taken such an action, but they have, and the rest is history. Thank you for your attention to this matter. And so those are the words there from President Trump. Of course,
that's what I'm saying. Is China not going against the United States, but going against the world? I mean, they sent letters to multiple countries pretty much saying we're going to limit your rare earth minerals, aka limit like what you can make with these rare earth minerals, and it's going to have a downwards turn in supply, which is going to raise your prices. And we're going to hope that your government gets mad at y'all for that and blame y'all, and you guys are going to concede to our unfair trade tactics. I mean, hey, man, the Dems are going to want us to do so. So prepare for the propaganda campaign, guys, because it's about to get crazy. You're about to see these Dems literally shake pom-poms, throw their ass to the circle for China.
Know that the president has met several times with China's President Xi Jinping, putting this up on your screen as well. And so the Associated Press has just put out this article as well, talking about these newly imposed tariffs, saying that the president said that he's placing an additional 100% tariffs on Chinese imports starting November 1st or sooner. If President Trump is to go ahead with it, the move would push tariff rates close to levels that in April fanned fears of a steep recession and a financial market chaos. Trump, of course, did make that announcement, as we just read, on his Truth Social site. The president, of course, we know, has made some of these threats before in the past, as the Associated Press is reporting, so we will see if this one will go through. But ultimately, a little bit earlier today, we did hear that President Trump suggested...
Now, yeah, usually China de-escalates in this time. Like, I don't know why they trying this, but yeah, usually they're the ones to de-escalate. But we'll see, because we do not know that.
Calling off his upcoming meeting with the Chinese President Xi Jinping, Trump said that there seems to be no reason, quote, to meet with the Chinese leader as a part of an upcoming trip to South Korea after China has restricted exports of rare earths needed for American industry. President Trump has suggested that he was looking at a, quote, massive increase of import taxes on Chinese products in response to Xi's moves. We now know that that is this new 100% tariff that's been announced on some of their imports. And so I want to put that Truth Social post back up on the screen there as well for you. That's it in full there from the president, the message saying that in response to one of the moves that China has since made, the U.S. starting November 1st, 2025 or sooner, the United States of America will be imposing a tariff of 100% on China over and above any tariff that they are currently paying. And so we'll continue to watch that as it unfolds.
Like I say, man, we'll see how China's battle against the world goes. Honestly, they're pulling a Trump. They're literally pulling a Trump. They're literally trying to, well, look, Trump put tariffs so he could try to get these companies and these governments to pay up to get into America's economy. Well, China's pretty much saying that, look, man, we'll just drive up y'all prices if y'all want to keep playing this tariff game with us and not let us, transport our products over to you guys for relabeling. So this is China's way of saying, let us act unfairly or else. And like I said, some people in the chat were championing a